Hi, in this quick video, we're going to talk about Mondayisation, and obviously this year with Christmas Day, or in fact Boxing Day, and the day after New Year's Day, both falling on weekends, they get moved to Mondays for some people. So I'm just going to quickly explain what happens within TimeHub. So because I've not reached that date yet, if I show you in my calendar, so in the employee screen in TimeHub, each employee has a calendar. So this is showing me here that the 25th is a public holiday, that's what that symbol means, and the 26th is a public holiday, and at this stage Monday isn't. Now the reason Monday is not showing as a public holiday yet is because we don't know whether the employee worked the Saturday or not. So what will happen is TimeHub will look at the day and look at the daily rule, and for Friday, if the employee doesn't work, then they will be paid either their rostered hours, so their default hours if they are full-time, and if they are part-time, it'll pay them the average of the last 4 weeks for a Friday for that particular day. Then on Saturday, if the employee doesn't work, that day will move to the Monday. If they do work, that day is treated as a public holiday and Monday isn't. So they can only have two public holidays. So if I worked, then this would get paid at time and a half and I would accrue an alternative day. Same thing applies if I'm spanning midnight then, and I've got part days on either side, then TimeHub will deal with that. So let's assume that the employee doesn't work. And then what will happen is that this will become my public holiday. Now, if I don't work, again, I will be paid my default hours or my rostered hours if I am a full-timer, and my average hours for a Monday based on the 4-week average if I am a part-timer. If I do work, then that will become time and a half, and that will get treated with an alternative day. Now, if I work Saturday and Monday, Saturday is my public holiday. Monday just goes to ordinary time because I've already been paid for my public holiday. So you can't have 3 public holidays and you can't have 1 public holiday. So TimeHub will automate that process. So you can check in the calendar. If I go forward into January, we'll see that we've got the same effect here for Friday, Saturday in January, and this will apply to all of the Mondayized public holidays. So TimeHub will automatically do this. You don't need to do anything. And what's important is if you are checking the information, now obviously you can check in the calendar here. If you're using our roster calendar function, then you can come in here and apply this. And again, you will see what the rules are for the current week and next week. Now, if you're not using our roster calendar or you don't have access to it, let us know. We're happy to turn that on for you. So this again will apply. Now, if I'm in the daily times, now I don't have a public holiday that's fired at the moment, but you'll get the general gist of this. So when this thing comes up in a second, if I go into, let's say I'll go into yesterday will do, doesn't really matter. So let's say in my particular case, I had a public holiday not worked. I should have one here somewhere, public holiday not worked. And that was public holiday. Now this will automatically happen. You won't be having to do this. Okay, and that said 8. So what I would see is something to that effect there. I would see that it's a public holiday. I'd see the public holiday symbol. Obviously, this isn't a public holiday, which is why I'm not seeing it. And I would see the units. Now, these units will be based on what the employee normally does, or their, as I said, their average hours. If they have worked, you will see the normal information here, except this will change to ordinary at PH, which means they're being paid those hours as a public holiday. Now, if TimeHub generates a default number of hours based on what its expectation is, and you don't like that number, then you simply come in here, click on this blue line, and you can edit those hours if you wish. Now, only edit them if you think they're wrong, and typically they will be based on what the expectation is. But if the employee's on completely the wrong roster, or there's some other effect, or they're a part-timer and you want to pay them more than what the system is generating, you can edit that. So I could make that 4 or 1 or whatever the case may be, depending on what that particular situation is with that employee. So I can update that, and then that's what the employee will get paid. So it's important that you only do that if you are not comfortable with that. Now, what you can do to figure out what your employees are being paid is if you go into your daily times report and you look for flags that say public holiday. Now this may not work because I don't have any public holidays in this particular period. This will give you a list of public holidays for the period. Now if I do it a different way and I come in and I look for my tags for public holiday not worked, and I run that report, I should get one person coming up in a second. So there I've got, in that week, I've got one person who's been paid. So then you can print this report out, cross-check it in a report form to see what everyone's being paid. So the best bet is just to do the flag symbol, or if you do it in your pay period, so the same thing would apply if I ran this report. If I undid my pay period and I ran a public holiday report in here, then I will get the same sort of thing. So you can just report on this. So when you're reporting, you can filter it down and say, okay, I'm only interested in flags that say public holiday in this week, and I won't get anything in my view, but when I ran that search, it would show you what every person is being paid for the public holiday, and then you've got the ability to again come into your pay period. Now, just as you can edit it in daily times, you can edit it in here. So again, if I had a day where I wanted to treat it as a public holiday, for example, if this was a public holiday, let's make it look like a public holiday, and that's what it looked like. So in my pay period, I can still go in here if I wish to and edit this. So it's important that you remember that if you start adding times or deleting times, then that will have an effect on the way the public holiday is calculated. But for 99.9% of the cases, that public holiday will calculate. Oh, that's never good, so that shouldn't happen. And if it was you on the phone, I wouldn't have hung up. So basically, that's how you'll calculate your public holiday. So, but if you've got any questions, use the chat app that I'm going to put in the Beamer post, and I'm happy to help if we can help.